What's up YouTube? So check this out. So recently I decided to pick up an iPhone mini. Now the mini line is no longer around, so I figured this was a good time to grab one and explore one of the last small flagship smartphones Apple may ever make. Even though the mini line doesn't include 120Hz display, bigger cameras, or even a bigger battery, it's still one of Apple's most wanted phones. And today we're going to explore what makes the iPhone mini so special and why a lot of people are gravitating towards it. This is the unboxing gadget. Let's dive in and explore. Let's get it. Alright, so before we check out and dive into the mini, let's check out and see how I got one. Now, the iPhone 13 mini was discontinued in September 2023, and shortly after that, the iPhone 13 was also discontinued. Now, in my opinion, this left a weird spot in the Apple lineup, as now the iPhone SE was the smallest phone available to get. And also, in my opinion, the iPhone SE is nowhere near the same value as like an iPhone 12 or iPhone 13 mini. So, that left others, including me, really no option but to turn to the resale market to pick up a mini. Now, when it comes to finding a used iPhone 13 mini, it was actually harder than I thought. For some reason, I did not expect the used price market to be so high for iPhone minis. Then again, I knew this because iPhone mini original price started at $699. Secondly, who knew trying to find a white iPhone 13 mini would be so hard? Maybe my eBay search criteria was a little bit off, but out of a few thousand used minis, there were only 52 white ones. So, at that time, I just settled for a product red iPhone mini, and honestly I couldn't have been happier. Okay, so let's talk about the design. Now, the main reason someone would get an iPhone mini, in my opinion, is due to its size. It's actually one of those size phones that really shouldn't be looked down upon because it fits pretty good in the hands. Now, I have fairly large hands, and honestly the mini fits pretty well. The 5.4 OLED screen actually looks really nice and makes seeing text and objects perfectly fine indoors and outdoors, and honestly I have no issues. However, the screen real estate does make some apps and objects load a little weird on the screen, but besides that, it works perfectly fine. Now, comparing my old iPhone 12 Pro Max and my iPhone 14, you can clearly see it's a size difference. The mini name is honestly there. Holding the two phones, you can clearly see that the mini is definitely smaller, but honestly, it's refreshing holding the small phones, not having to worry about your pinky or anything like that because it feels just really nice in the hands. Okay, so with that being said, let's break down the specs of the iPhone 13 mini. Now, it rocks at 5.4 Super Retina XDR OLED display. Like I mentioned before, it's sharp, bright, and definitely gets the job done indoor and out. Now, it's made with the so-called Apple ceramic shield, which is pretty durable, and of course it's IP6 68 water resistance, so it's pretty strong. On the back, we have the two dual 12 megapixel cameras, wide and ultra wide, and under the hood, we have the Apple A15 Bionic chip, which is fast and honestly gets the job done on the mini. Now, the battery life according to Apple is rated at 17 to 19 hours, depending on use cases, but my use cases, I get full day, no issues, which is not bad considering how small it is. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the 60Hz display. Now, to me, this is one of the main things that prevents a lot of people from getting the iPhone mini. Now, if you're coming from a phone with a 120Hz display, jumping back down is going to be a huge difference. But if you're in the realm of 60Hz already, I think you'll have no issues using the iPhone mini, and honestly, I think you'll love it. Okay, so we talked about a few things. We talked about the specs, we talked about the elephant in the room, we even talked about the display. Now let's move on to the cameras. Now, to me, the cameras are pretty doggone good for the iPhone 13 mini. The phone might be small, but the camera system is actually pretty powerful. It's kind of funny because you would think the iPhone mini wouldn't have the same caliber of cameras as Pro or Pro Max phone, but to me it stands up there with all these phones. Switching from my 12 Pro Max to the mini, I honestly don't know much difference. And honestly, the mini looks better in videos and photos, so camera system, A+. Alright, so here are my final thoughts on why I think you should still get the iPhone 13 mini in 2025. To me, the mini is truly the last of its kind. It's a pro phone jam-packed into a small body. It makes it easy to hold, easy to use, and honestly pretty versatile. So my number one point, like I said, is compact and powerful. It has that same A15 Bionic chip as larger phones, but in a small form factor. Number two, the camera system. This good of a camera system in such a small body makes it a great second camera, video camera, or even your main camera. And number three, for its size, I think the iPhone 13 mini has a great battery. You can get through a full day and still have that lightweight phone that you can take with you anywhere. Okay, so those are my points. You guys let me know, what are your points? Do you like the iPhone 13 mini? Do you like minis in general? Or are you just skipping altogether? Either way, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.